It Broncos free agency, they knocked it out of the frickin' park. Denver Broncos could not have done much better in free agency. They targeted 3 guys. They got the 3 guys that they targeted. They locked up some of their own guys, and they filled just about every hole on the football team outside of running back and maybe outside of wide receiver. But if you listen to Sean Payton, he feels a whole lot better about his wide receiver room than most of us might have thought that he does. We're going to dive into all that. Look, there's a lot of teams that spent a lot more money than the Broncos. The Washington Commanders, the Chicago Bears are 2 teams that, when you look at the grades, and everybody wants to give quick grades to free agency, I'm sure the Commanders, I'm sure the Bears are going to get A+, right? They knocked it out of the park. They spent a whole lot of money. They made trades. The Broncos weren't necessarily as aggressive as some other teams in terms of dollar figures that were passed out, but when you take into context what did they target and what did they get, it's hard to imagine the Broncos really could have done a whole lot better. So we're going to dive into all that tonight, but before we get started, need to take a quick second here to thank my sponsors. Safeway is my title sponsor, and I would not have them without you guys who all watch Mount Polumbus Speaks. If you haven't subscribed to Mount Polumbus Speaks over on YouTube, make sure you hit that link in my bio on Twitter. Go over onto YouTube, hit subscribe. It'll take you 4 seconds. Safeway's been with me on and off now in both charitable forms and business forms for probably 6 or 7 years. They've donated like $600,000 or $700,000. What's up, Mel? Not bad at all. No doubt about it. Probably $600,000 or $700,000 to ovarian cancer awareness and honor my mom, Nancy, who passed away from stage 4 ovarian cancer. But on top of that, they're just an incredible grocery store. And if you don't have the Safeway app, you need to go download it today. Download the Safeway app, skip all the delivery service apps, go directly to Safeway. You're going to save a boatload of money. You're going to get points that you can redeem down the road for discounts. I make my order about once a week, and then I just add on 4 or 5 pieces. They save my previous order. It seriously takes me less than 10 minutes to get my order. Safeway's going to handle the rest. They're going to get it delivered directly to the door. Chronicles, Kansas City couldn't three-peat, but the Bears did three-peat as off-season champions, which doesn't help them at all. That's true. We'll dive into all that, and I love the comments. Keep them rolling in. But just to wrap this thing up with Safeway, make sure you download that app today. Safeway's got fresh foods. They got local flavors, and you're going to save a boatload of money if you order directly on that app. Also, quick shout out to Ascend Barbershop, who is my personal barbershop now for a long, long time. That's AC. That's Alfred, my man. I also go to Anthony every now and then when Alfred is busy. That's Anthony. It's a luxury barbershop experience in the Parker area. If you have not experienced a luxury barbershop, I'm telling you, you're missing out. They're the only ones I trust to trim my beard, cut my hair. I would not go anywhere else, and I would not be lying to you. I'm telling you, it's a phenomenal experience. You got to check out Ascend Barbershop in the Parker area. Okay, where do we want to start tonight? The big news of the day was Evan Engram. Evan Engram was the first news of free agency and the last news of free agency. Tomorrow is actually the start of the new league year. So actually all these deals, technically speaking, they can't be signed until tomorrow, even though they're in the legal tampering period. And illegal tampering is definitely going on before the legal tampering period. But the very first news that we heard as Broncos fans on Monday morning was that Evan Engram was in town. Who is Evan Engram? Well, you should know if you're a football junkie. If you don't know, Evan Engram is a stud tight end. He's more of a wide receiver type of body that plays the tight end position. Broncos have not had a tight end like this, maybe since Julius. I can't promise you that Evan Ingram's going to be as productive as Julius was, but think of the style of play that Julius Thomas played, and that's what you're going to get out of Evan Engram. Evan Engram is coming off of injury as the 3 main signings that the Broncos had: Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, who goes by Huff to make it easy on you, and Evan Engram are all coming off of injuries last year. So that's the one negative. If you want to look at the negative side of it, they're all coming off of injuries. But the positive side of it is that you got a trio of ballers at a very reasonable rate, quite frankly. Evan Engram was the only one that surprised me a little bit about how much he went for. I'll tell you about his contract details here in a second, but just to get you caught up to speed, yes, last year was a down year because he was hurt. He only had 47 catches for 365 yards, but let's talk about the years before that. The years before that in Jacksonville, 114 catches, 963 yards. As a tight end. A tight end got 963 yards. That was just in 2023. This was not forever ago. Goodness. Some motorcycle just went outside my house and scared the hell out of me. That was not 5-6 years ago. That was 2 seasons ago that Evan Engram got 963 yards. I mean, that is truly Travis Kelce type of numbers. That's George Kittle type of numbers. The year before that, he went for 766 yards. And every year before that, he's basically hovered between 500, 600 yards. He had another 700-yard season his rookie year with the Giants. He is a little bit of an older guy, but he's going into year 9. And he was the first dude that the Broncos targeted. Mike, first offseason since 2014 that feels this solid. It feels pretty damn good, don't it? Feels pretty damn good. Evan Engram was the first dude that they brought into the building. And he was in the building Monday morning. Matter of fact, he was actually in town Sunday night going out to dinner at Shanahan's with the staff. Here's the whirlwind. I'm reading this directly from Mike Kliss, so shout out to Mike who put this out there. The Evan Engram whirlwind. Sunday night, dinner at Shanahan's with Broncos coaches. Monday, he had his physical at Broncos headquarters. Late Monday night, he said, nope, I don't like whatever deal you put in front of me. It's at least not good enough for me to sign it today. And Monday night, after his visit with the Broncos, he flew directly out to Los Angeles, where he had a visit and a physical with the Chargers on Tuesday. When Evan Engram left town, I definitely got a little bit nervous that the Broncos are going to lose him because he spent a significant amount of time here in Denver and they didn't get the deal done. It felt like one of those deals that you were going to bring him in town, you were going to shut the doors, and he wasn't going to leave the building until you got the deal done. And then he goes out to the Chargers. Tuesday night, he takes a red-eye flight back to Atlanta. Wednesday, he makes his decision, signs with the Denver Broncos, or agrees to terms with the Denver Broncos. Tomorrow, they'll actually sign on the dotted line. Evan Engram did get a pretty big deal, and it was bigger than what I thought it was going to be, quite frankly. It's a 2-year, $23 million deal. In year 1, he gets an $8 million signing bonus. He'll have a $3 million salary and a $510,000 per game roster bonus, which is going to come out to $11.5 million fully guaranteed in year 1. He does end up with $16 million of that $23 million contract fully guaranteed. Year 2, he's got $5 million guaranteed as well. I honestly thought, that's damn near the money that he was making down there in Jacksonville when he was the best tight end in football, and he got that free agency deal. I think he was making a little bit over 13 per out there in Jacksonville, and it's definitely more money than what I thought the Broncos were going to spend, but it's not brutal by any means. And in reality, it's a 1-year deal that you can get out of in year 2 with a little bit of a dead cap hit. So it's not the end of the world. They're going to make him prove it in year 1. If he proves it in year 1, he'll get paid the rest of his money in year 2. I honestly thought that Evan Engram was probably going to sign for maybe $6, $7, $8 million per year. Ends up getting significantly more than that, and I have no doubt about it that the Broncos got ants in their pants once Evan Engram went out to Los Angeles and got his visit with the Chargers. Whatever the offer was that the Broncos had when he left town, it probably wasn't $23 million. It probably wasn't $16 million fully guaranteed. So I'm very confident, without knowing the details, that the Broncos upped their offer significantly when he went out there to Los Angeles. They said, screw it. He's the only tight end that's left. The Broncos desperately need a tight end. So let's go get him. Let's go get him. Everybody talks about this Joker role with the Broncos, and maybe Evan could be that for him. I don't know. I don't know if Evan's going to be a true Joker. I certainly don't see him lining up in the backfield or anything like that. But he is a wide receiver that plays the tight end spot, and you're going to create plenty of mismatches just because of the style of play that he has, getting matched up on inside linebackers that don't have the type of speed that he has. So Bottom line for the Broncos, with all their free agents, with Dre Greenlaw, with Evan Engram, and with Talanoa Hufanga, is that they got to cross their fingers, hope and pray a little bit that these guys are going to stay healthy. The deal for Dre Greenlaw, I honestly was really surprised at how cost effective the Broncos were in getting the Dre Greenlaw deal done. It basically equates to a 3-year, $12 million per year type of deal. Again, it's really a 2-year deal. Oftentimes they load that back year with a free out to get out of it, and they do have an out to get out of it. There's like 6, 7, maybe 8 different linebackers in the NFL right now that are all making more money than Dre Greenlaw. There's dudes making $20 million playing that position, and I promise you there's not 6, 7, 8 different linebackers in the NFL better than Dre Greenlaw. So you just got an absolute dog at a steal of a price if he can stay healthy. Why did the Broncos get him done at $12 million per year? Because he's coming off of really 2 years of injuries. Not 2 years, I'd call it a year and a half. He had a significant injury in the Super Bowl in 2024. That was 2023 season, but 2024. Had a significant injury there, had another injury last season, and missed all but, I think it was 2 or 3 games that he played in last season. And again, Talanoa Hufanga, another guy who had injuries last year. I'll say this, though. Whether you sign a dude that's hurt or whether you sign a dude that's healthy, the healthy dude's going to get hurt also. Football is a 100% injury guaranteed sport. Let's see. Wes asked, Tyler, can you speak to players coming off of Achilles injuries and how effective they can be moving forward? Well, I've never had an Achilles injury, but from what I've been told, year 2 is really the year that these guys kind of get back to form. Today's science, medicine, and everything that's going on, people get back from injuries quicker and quicker. Achilles used to always be a bare minimum full year that you're out, and guys are coming back quicker than a year nowadays. Is it smart? Is it healthy? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But what I do know from my buddies that have had Achilles injuries, they said that first year that they came back, they just weren't themselves. They're battling it the entire year. It wasn't until year 2 that they really felt healthy again. So good news for the Broncos is Dre Greenlaw will be 2 seasons removed, close to it at least, because it was the end of the year, where he'll be coming back from a very, very significant injury. But to my point here, I don't think you can live in fear of injuries all too much in the NFL. Everybody's going to get hurt. When I call it a 100% injury guaranteed sport, I mean that. That's an actual fact. NFLPA puts it out. 100% of the players that play in the NFL are going to come out with injuries. I've had 2 shoulder surgeries on this one on this one. I've had a disc replacement on my neck. I've had 3 back surgeries. I need a back fusion, and I need another neck surgery. Okay? I played 8 years in the NFL. And I'm no different than anybody else. These dudes get frickin' hurt. Apologies, that last comment came and went before I read it, but I believe it asked something about J.K. Dobbins. I'll get to running backs here in just a little bit because I started this show by saying the Broncos filled just about every single hole on the team except for one, and that is the running back position. You had 2 holes on defense. You needed to get yourself a new safety, and you needed to get yourself an inside linebacker. Done and done. Come the draft, you'll probably draft some corner depth because corners are always special teams players, and you never have enough there. You'll probably draft some interior defensive line depth, although you did re-sign DJ Jones for $13 million per year, which was a healthy commitment to a nose tackle for sure. That goes to show you how much they value DJ Jones, because a lot of teams don't want to pay nose tackles. Broncos did. DJ Jones got 13 per. But they had 2 holes on defense, safety and inside linebacker. On offense, you got 3 holes-ish, right? If you listen to Sean Payton, he'd really tell you it's 2. I would tell you they needed tight end help, they needed running back help, and they need to draft a wide receiver. I didn't think they were going to get a wide receiver in free agency, although now that Cooper Kupp is a free agent, I had no interest in trading for Cooper Kupp. But now that he's a free agent, I really hope the Broncos are in the conversations for Cooper Kupp. So you filled your 2 holes on defense. You filled 1 hole on offense with your tight end. And now that leaves you with only 1 glaring hole going into the draft, and that's running back. Here's the good news. This is arguably the best running back draft in years. I mean, there are going to be starting caliber running backs in the 3rd and 4th round this year. If Ashton Jeanty is anywhere near the Broncos pick when they get there, I would fire up a few spots to go get him. That's how good that dude is, but I don't think he's going to come within firing range of the Broncos. They'll probably end up taking a 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round pick on a running back. In the 1st round, it gets interesting because although they did draft Evan Engram, he's an older dude. He's going into year 9. I still would like to see the Broncos draft a tight end. If Colston Loveland's on the board, I'm down with that. You could take Colston Loveland in the 1st round. But what I really think is going to happen in the draft now, you don't need anything on defense. You could pretty much go offense if you really want to. You did address the tight end position. I think there's also a handful of really good tight ends that are going to be in there in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. So what I would probably do if I'm the Broncos, you're sitting there in the 1st round, you don't have to get another tight end, but you want to get another tight end. You do have to get a running back, but outside of Ashton Jeanty, there's probably nobody you want to draft in the 1st round. So what I'm thinking for the Broncos, you're probably thinking wide receiver in the 1st round. I mean, you've put yourself in a position now where you could take best player available at a position of need. So your 3 positions of need are going to be running back, tight end, and wide receiver. So you take the best player that's available at any of those 3 spots, but you're in all likelihood not going to land Cooper Kupp. I hope I'm wrong. That'd be awesome if we do. And that leaves you with the need to get younger and more explosive in wide receiver. A couple names to keep your eye on in the 1st round for the Broncos, Luther Burden and Emeka Egbuka. 2 guys that will likely be on the board when the Broncos get there, and 2 guys that would significantly improve this Denver Broncos wide receiver room. Then in the 2nd round, the 3rd round, now we got to figure out running back. We got to figure out another tight end. Again, though, if Colston Loveland is on the board in the 1st round, probably take him. If Ashton Jeanty is within 3 or 4 spots of your pick, I'd probably fire up and I'd go get him. But the Denver Broncos have done a fantastic job in free agency. They re-signed DJ Jones. They re-signed Justin Strnad. Justin ends up doubling his salary from last year. Justin is great inside linebacker depth, and he's a great special teams player for the Broncos as well. Oh, one name I forgot that kind of got lost in the shuffle here of free agency signings. The Broncos did go out and sign Vikings wide receiver Trent Sherfield. He signed a 2-year, $6 million deal. He can make another $2 million in incentives. Sherfield is your Traymon Smith replacement. Although he's a wide receiver, not a defensive back, you lost Traymon, who was a 4-phase special teams guy, and now you bring in Trent Sherfield, who's going to be a 4-phase special teams guy and he's going to be a major contributor of what you do there. So he was probably the least sexy of the additions, but he was an addition that I should not gloss over. Here we go. I know we need a running back, but what about drafting a tight end in the 1st round, Warren Loveland? Yeah, like I said, I'm not against drafting Colston Loveland at all. If he's there, I'd take him. Tyler Warren's not going to be anywhere close. Tyler Warren's probably going to be a top 10 pick. But hell, if Tyler Warren's there, sure, I'd take him. I'd take him in a heartbeat. I think the Broncos could have done much better. I'm fired up about what they did. Are we allowed to talk Nuggets or only Broncos? Of course, we're always allowed to talk Nuggets, but tonight is free agency. I'm about to turn this off and watch the Nuggets. But we do talk Nuggets on Mount Polumbus Speaks, just not tonight. Tonight is all about free agency, although this Minnesota game is a huge game for the Nuggets, rivalry game, and I hope they win it. All right, Justin, I think Sean is going to fall in love with Travion Henderson and take him in. You know what? Travion Henderson's a baller, and he's definitely got some joker skill sets to him. You could put Travion Henderson in the slot. You could put him in the backfield. There's a lot of things you could do with him. Ohio State's got 2 running backs that I dig a lot. I'd take either one of them. All right, that's all I got for you guys tonight. Broncos knocked it out of the park. Couldn't be more fired up. The free agency, probably the best free agency we've had in a very long time. I'll be back with you guys in a couple days. Again, thank you to Safeway, my title sponsor. Thank you to Ascend Barbershop. Please go support both of those. If you're in the Parker area, check out Ascend Barbershop. And if you have not subscribed to Mount Polumbus Speaks, I know the majority of you guys are watching on Twitter right now. Please hit that link in my bio. Head on over to YouTube. Hit subscribe. It'll take you 5 seconds. If you want to help me grow my channel over on YouTube, I'm always trying to grow my channel on YouTube. If you could please take 10 seconds out of your day, go over to YouTube, comment on the video, like that video. It does wonders for the algorithm over there. Just know I'd be super grateful to you, and you'll make sure you don't miss out on any future content. All right. Yes, that's right, Wes. Smash that like button.